Hello everyone, welcome to your own Nanhaagyan Foundation. I am Romal, founder director Nanhaagyan Foundation. We have come with a wonderful series that is See the Able, Not the Label. This is episode 2, and in this we are going to talk about the interesting aspects that we all really want, that we really face in our day-to-day life, that we see बच्चे पढ़ते नहीं हैं, बच्चों को आलस है, आज याद किया हुआ कल याद नहीं रहता है, लिखने में बहुत कंटाला करते हैं, लिखना नहीं है. All those things are just the symptoms. But parents, what is the root cause of it? बच्चा कई बार बहुत मेहनत करता है पर रिजल्ट नहीं आ पाता. What is the root cause of it? वही जानने के लिए आज हमारे साथ में जुड़े हैं डॉक्टर अपर्णा. डॉक्टर अपर्णा is a physiologist, professor, and she is also a social entrepreneur. एंड इनकी एक ऐप है जिसका नाम है एडब्लेंड. सो इससे वो बहुत सारे बच्चों को जो ऐसी डिफिकल्टीज है उसमें हेल्प करते हैं. सो वी जॉइन आवर हैंड्स टुगेदर टू वेलकम डॉक्टर अपर्णा.
Hello everyone. Hello Romal. It's great to have you here, and I hope we have a wonderful session.
Absolutely, ma'am. We welcome you on behalf of Nanhaagyan Foundation, and this is a very heart-to-heart
Thank you.
conversation that we do in Able, See the Able, Not the Label. And I think this is our motto that we are working together on different lines, definitely. But we have
Yes, definitely. Yeah.
we have been working that way. So,
Actually,
ma'am,
yeah. I would like to compliment on the tagline what you have put. See the able, not the label. I think this just sums up in one line what we are trying to discuss today.
absolutely, because I feel that we are very, as humans, we are very good in labeling. So and so is ADHD, so and so is dyslexic, and so is autism, so is ASD, LD. We are very good with labeling, but we don't see in a child what are the the best qualities that the child has. And as parents, as teachers, somewhere or the other, we actually lack somewhere. So, with this note, I'd like to start with today's conversation. And I think our
Yes.
conversation is going to help a lot of people who have this mindset somewhere or the other that मेरा बच्चा पढ़ाई में कमजोर है. So वाकई में अगर से कमजोर है तो हम कैसे हेल्प करेंगे, और वाकई में कमजोरी ध्यान नहीं देने की वजह से है या वाकई में उसको कुछ और है. तो वो जानने के लिए first of all, thank you for joining us on the platform on this wonderful episode of See the Able, Not the Label, episode number 2. So, ma'am, we are talking about learning difficulties, right? So, what are the different
Yes.
learning difficulties that do we see in children generally?
The learning difficulties, if we have to talk in a scientific way, so it is labeled as specific learning disabilities. So, as you know, the specific learning disabilities, they can be they can be classified into various types, like the dyslexia, which is basically a difficulty in the reading, or dysgraphia, where the child has difficulty in writing, or dyscalculia, where he's having some difficulty with the mathematics. So there is a spectrum of learning difficulties. I would not like to use the word disability. We can say it is a difficulty. And
Absolutely.
exactly, if you, yeah. So I would like to use the word difficulty, learning difficulties.
Absolutely. So, ma'am, when we've said there are difficulties, as you mentioned, dyslexia, dyscalculia, dysgraphia. So, how do we identify? हमको before getting the formal diagnosis, हम ये कैसे जानेंगे कि this difficulty is what my child is facing? क्योंकि हम कई बार बच्चों को लेबल कर देते हैं, इसको लिखने का आलस है, इसको याद नहीं रहता है, इसको जान पे आती है, इसकी मेमोरी कम है. We tend to do that. So is it वाकई में बच्चा ऐसा है, या हम कैसे इस चीज को समझे कि वाकई में ये डिफिकल्टीज बच्चों के साथ में रहती है, कैसे आइडेंटिफाई करेंगे?
Yeah. Exactly. So, if when we are speaking about the learning difficulties, in general, the most common one we come across is the dyslexia. So, generally, the dyslexia is accompanied with dysgraphia. So, if we have to get into the scientific background of it, basically, it is a neurodivergent condition. We can call it as a neurodivergent condition where the wiring of the child is
Hmm.
different from other children. So they are
Okay.
not exactly, any disabled child or less intelligent kid. So they're just having a different wiring where, so you have some pathways for us to understand the written language and the written language. So there is a specific pathway which, if intact, we can read it effortlessly. What happens in the children with dyslexia is their pathway is somewhat different from other children. That is why they are finding it difficult with reading. So, as you told, the most of the parents, educators, or even the doctors, or they are not aware of the thing. There is a profound lack of awareness, because of which there is this labeling that the child does not want to read, or he is dull, dumb, etc.
Okay, so in a normal language, if I say, in a language which is not scientific, basically ये एक ऐसी चीज है जहाँ पे बच्चों को पढ़ने लिखने में तकलीफ होती है। उनके उनके जो न्यूरॉन्स है, उनके जो कम्युनिकेशन जो उनके दिमाग में चलती है, वो अलग तरीके से होती है जो नॉर्मल लोगों की अलग तरीके से होती है, उनके दिमाग में अलग
Eh,
होती है। और
yes,
लिखने के लिए अलग
definitely.
तरीके से लिखते हैं, और पढ़ने के लिए हम अलग तरीके से हमारी ब्रेन के अंदर में वायरिंग की हुई है। करेक्ट?
Exactly. Yes, there is a different pathway for us to understand the written language. So इनका थोड़ा wiring is different from the other children.
बट मैम अगर से हम देखते हैं ऑल टुगेदर, हम कुछ भी बोले कि वायरिंग अलग है, या इन शॉर्ट समझाए कि बच्चा तारे जमीन पर का ईशान है, ठीक है, ये कॉमन चीज
Yeah,
होती है समझाने में कि आपने तारे जमीन पे देखी है क्या, उसमें जो ईशान है वो उस तरीके का
yeah.
बच्चा है, right? तो मैम मुझे पूछना है, क्या डिसलेक्सिया जो है, डिसलेक्सिया या जो लर्निंग डिफिकल्टीज है किसी के अंदर थ्रू आउट द लाइफ रहती है, या इज इट क्योरेबल और इज इट इनक्योरेबल? क्योंकि ये भी एक दिमाग में रहता है पेरेंट्स का कि मेरा बच्चा पागल थोड़ी है, या मेरा बच्चा उसका दिमाग थोड़ी खराब है, ये अब नॉर्मल थोड़ी है। सो व्हाट इज इट एग्जैक्टली?
No, actually, we can see it as a strength. Pagal Kena, it will be the complete opposite. So, dyslexia is seen as a strength. You know, the World Summit and all the summits for employability. The employees are also nowadays looking for dyslexic employees, because dyslexia is considered as a strength. So, Pagal to Bilkul, it is a out of the context word. They are very intelligent, creative, and out of the box kids. They are only facing difficulty with reading and writing. So that is the only difficulty. They are extremely intelligent and creative kids.
मैम बट इफ यू से दैट बच्चों को सिर्फ लिखने में और पढ़ने में डिफिकल्टी है, एंड यू आर सेइंग इट इंटेलिजेंट, तो मेरे बच्चे के तो अगर से पढ़ने में ही प्रॉब्लम है, मार्क्स ही नहीं आ रहे, तो कैसे के इंटेलिजेंट हो गया? यू नो दिस क्वेश्चंस इज जनरली बीन आस्क्ड, मार्क्स तो आते नहीं, कैसे के इंटेलिजेंट है? बिकॉज इन इंडिया वी जनरली हैव दिस सो कॉल्ड टैग कि मार्क्स है तो बच्चा इंटेलिजेंट है।
Yes, that is there definitely. There may be some difficulties in the academics, but the child can definitely overcome with the support and understanding of the parents and teachers. So basically, there is a need for the awareness in the parents and teachers. Little bit of support and acceptance can go a long way. Okay, it is not that they cannot completely do it. They do it in their own way. They learn it in their own way. So they are more of a visual learners. That is the reason I have created this app, that is the EdBlend. So our app is basically containing the interactive videos and many visual elements. Along with that, we have placed a special dyslexic zone. So which is helping in giving the phonemic awareness from the childhood. So they are basically a different kind of learners, like more of a visual and spatial learners. So they learn it in a different way. They understand things conceptually and they can answer in a simple and in their own words. It is not that they cannot do well in the academics. It just requires awareness, acceptance, and guidance from the teachers.
So, ma'am, I'd like to know that in the education system that we have. So, in this way, to make these children understand, do we require teachers to be upgraded when it comes to teaching them differently? Because the normal methods of rote methods or the normal classroom methods that happens with every children cannot work with these children. So, since I am a special need educator, so what do you have to say about the remediation that we give to these children? So, remediation and the normal tuition, there are two different things. So what do
Yes.
you say, children need tuitions or these children need remediation, and what is the difference between them that you can address to the parents?
Yes. So, what is needed, as I said, first of all, there needs to be awareness among the parents. So, once they understand that he is not lazy or he is not less intelligent, they can definitely instinctively help the child. So that is one biggest asset. The second thing, that teachers, when they have understanding, like there are things what the dyslexics find difficult. They find difficulty in writing the notes from the board or writing it down from the books. So we can just communicate to the teachers to tell things orally. So he is better writing it when communicated orally, and we can test his strengths by oral communication. That is one thing where the teachers in the school can help. And when it comes to remediation, definitely the remediation is the need of the hour, because the special educators, they are trained and they definitely know the ways how to overcome these difficulties. And remediation can go a long way in rewiring the neurons. Definitely remediation is very, very vital.
So, ma'am, lot of parents, when we take remediation, lot of parents ask me कि मैम ये कितना लंबा चलेगा? एक महीने में मेरा बच्चा नॉर्मल हो जाएगा क्या? एक महीने में ये हो जाएगा क्या? 2 महीने में हो जाएगा क्या? So, what do you think? How much time the rewiring in the brain takes place? Is it a matter of 1 day, 1 week, 1 month, 3 months, or how long does it take?
The rewiring, definitely it does not take less time. It takes a little bit longer time, and definitely minimum of 1 year is required for the rewiring to take place. So 1 year to 18 months may be a good time for remediation.
Okay, so in remediation, the teachers are trained and they understand the type of a child and they can work on it to get you the visible results. Initial two, three
Yes.
months are basically there where we understand, we assess the child, we analyze the learning pattern, and we start building up on it. Correct. And
Yes.
slowly, as
Yes.
per the child's strength, then we start working on their strength and helping them to work on their weaknesses, and eventually over a period of time it shows us the result. So it cannot happen कि
Yes.
हमने remediation लगा दिया तो आपका 2 या 3 महीने में result आ गया. It doesn't happen that way,
Definitely.
right?
It's not possible. Yeah. Yes, definitely. So it requires a long-term approach. So as I said, 1 year is a minimum time, and maybe 18 months will be good. Good to go, where we can see the real change.
Okay. And
So we
after
can
this,
see the wiring when the rewiring has occurred. We can see
hmm,
that he's able to cope up things in a much easier way than it was before. So he can, read fluently or able to write with much more ease. So it takes a little bit of time, definitely.
so ma'am, is it very, is it really nice to say, I mean, correct to say that if my child is not able to, if my child has learning difficulty, for example, okay, and my child is in grade 1 and the board is ICSC, ICSCE,
Yes.
where the focus is more on the language, and I know my child is struggling. So, what will be the wise decision to do the remediation, or and along with that, if we can switch the children to a CBSC or some other board, what would be your suggestion on that note?
It depends on the extent of difficulty, basically, we can say. So, whether it is ICAC or CBSE, it depends on the school also. If they are
Mhm.
supportive and if there are, opportunities for inclusive education, where the school and the teachers are aware of the condition and they're willing to support, then I don't think the board may be difficulty. But it depends on the child. If at all he's really finding it difficult, then maybe you should be considering switching to some, board. Even the IB board, for the IB board is also good in the sense that it is not promoting the rote learning. Most of the things are practical. They are exploring the scientific way, the kinesthetic way of hands-on experimental way of doing. So the international or the IB thing may also be good for these kids, what I have noticed. So it depends on the kid and the atmosphere of the school.
Okay, so how
But
do our
definitely
teachers?
but I would like to add, along with the schooling, I think the remediation should be going on. I don't advise completely removing the child and putting in a special school, because we are moving towards inclusive education, and these kids are not, facing so much difficulty that they cannot cope up. It just needs little bit support. Along with the normal education, the remedial education would do wonders, definitely.
That's definitely, and being a special need educator, a remediation teacher, I have seen children who are regular in the remediation throughout, at least for a year or so, and they have a very good support system from the parents. Children have done wonders. Children have done wonders,
Yes,
and the
definitely.
lot of Dr. Aparna, I have seen a lot of things like simple चीजें जो बच्चों को होती है कि यार मेरा बच्चा ना स्पेलिंग्स याद नहीं कर पाता है, मैंने आज पढ़ाया कल भूल गया है, फिर लिखता नहीं है बोर्ड को देख के, नोटबुक्स इनकम्प्लीट है, मुझे पता है उसको डिसलेक्सिया है, आई नो माई चाइल्ड इज लर्निंग डिफिकल्टी, but still when these things come on and teachers complain, as a parent what would you advise them?
So I would like to share my personal journey. So, my thrust with the EdBlend, the reason why I had created EdBlend and included special dyslexic zone is because my second son is mildly dyslexic. And from his experience, when I understood that he was having some issues, because he was a wonderful, obedient kid, very compassionate, empathetic, out of the box, intelligent kid, what I noticed. He was trying to do his best, but he was unable to do. That is when it struck me, probably it is pointing towards dyslexia. So as soon as I understood it, then the first thing I did was I spoke to the teachers. So I spoke openly to the teachers that this is the condition, and I definitely told them that it is not a disability, and they are a wonderful, intelligent kids. And I just told them to support in the way they need to be supported. So just some little bit care, acceptance, and as you told, they are unable to read from the boards and write from the board. So I have given or requested them to just tell him orally and take care. So even if it is he is doing some spelling mistakes, so we have to encourage him. So they were, and I would be very thankful to the teachers. They were wonderful, and they encouraged the kid to be himself. They encouraged him to answer the questions in his own way and did not bother much about the spellings. They were looking at the content. So this kind of encouragement, so we need to have an open dialogue with the teachers. And thankfully nowadays the teachers are willing to support. They themselves are compassionate and willing to support. So there need to be a dialogue, an open dialogue between the teachers and the parents, and it really helps.
That's
Yeah.
really nice to hear that, because a lot of parents, they are impatient and they compare a lot. Dono bache, if they have two, if they have siblings, one has learning, like the case of yours, one, the elder one is a typical child, and the other has mild dyslexia. So generally the comparison है कि मेरे बड़े वाले को तो नहीं है, छोटे वाले को है, इसको नहीं होता है. So as parents, comparison करने से पहले we should understand the pace of the child and need to support them. If we are constantly doing that, so possibility of they may not like studying. So ma'am, what if the child has given up and is not ready to study now?
So, yeah, that again, the parental support is a must. And if he's, in spite of all the things, he's finding it difficult and his morale is broken, then probably, remedial class or a special education, if as a last resort, I would suggest.
Okay. um Now, ma'am, since it is, when we are talking about learning difficulties, does having learning difficulties affects the social interaction of these children, or the social, socially, does it affect them anywhere?
Um, Definitely, I think they are inherently anxious,
Hmm.
and there is little bit of frustration, and
Hmm.
it may affect their confidence. Along with that, one of the characteristic of these learning disabilities, hand in hand, they may be having difficulty with mingling with the kids. There may be emotional disturbances along with the writing difficulties or reading difficulties. It goes hand in hand most of the time.
Hmm.
Yeah.
So,
Yes,
in that
there may
case,
be some issues with the social mingling and moving around with the other kids. Yes.
so what about the self-esteem, ma'am?
Self-esteem without proper support system, then it can really go for a toss. That is one of the most debilitating thing of this condition. It is exactly like what we have seen in the movie Tare Zameen Par. So without a proper understanding, acceptance and support system, the child can really break down. So he may, consider himself dumb or all sorts of label. That is the most saddest part of this condition.
Okay.
So
So,
that is
ma'am,
the role of the parents. The parents' role comes there, not to allow their self-esteem to be down, and give them an understanding of their condition, and give them an understanding that no, you are not dumb, you are much more better than many other people. So you have to enumerate their strengths and constantly keep them upbeat. That is very important.
so, ma'am, what strategy, or what strategies can parents and educators can use to support the children who have learning difficulties?
One thing, I think, more of a visual education. So whenever
Mm-hmm.
we are teaching, so visual component, especially what I have noticed in such kids is they are very strong visual learners. So we
Mm-hmm.
can find ways and means to give them learning with the visual means, like the animations or short videos or infographics or diagrammatic representation. So all the information can be capsulated in the visual form. That is one very strong way of helping them. And second thing is break down the task into smaller chunks. So suppose the child is getting overwhelmed to complete the homework. So break down the homework into smaller chunks. So tell him that this question you can write and take a short break. And then you can, after the break, you can ask him to write the second one. That is one thing. So we should never overwhelm the kid, because it is not a, in a jiffy, like we are writing it very easily. Suppose I take my elder son, he completes the thing in half an hour. The same thing, the younger one takes more than an hour. He takes more than an hour. So it is very difficult for them. It is not a very fluent thing for them. So we have to understand, and even if it is late, we shouldn't rush them to complete the homework or take the classwork. We have to understand and allow his learning at his pace. And if we are confident and if we trust the process, definitely they're going to do well in life. So one thing is visual information, second thing chunk down, and there are many more strategies. Actually, you have, with the advent of technology nowadays, the most advanced companies like Microsoft, Google, etc., they have recognized the condition, and they have inbuilt text to audio books. So if you take the Microsoft Word, so there is a option that it reads the text. So nowadays, not only reading, it is giving you the audio form. So this is all which is the technology is there at our disposal, which can help the dyslexic. And with the advent of technology, I think the dyslexics are going to thrive in the world. We just need to trust the process.
So, ma'am, again, the question will come one more when we say technology, screen time. The parents get alert. Okay, so you're talking about technology, screen time. Already, my child has a lot of screen time. So, where is the development? So, how do parents can strike a balance when they have to use technology? What do they do wherein their screen time and the personal development, the physical development of the child is happening? What should be the that balancing formula would be?
It's definitely, I think the technology, not only the screen time, whenever
Hmm.
we speak about technology, like before we used to ride the bicycles, now we are taking a car everywhere. So is it really good to us? So if we take from a physical aspect, we are, missing out the exercise or moving even from short distances, we are taking the car. So that is a part of technological development. And now we are using the mixers where our grandmothers used to do it by hand. So they were much more physically fit when compared to us. Yes, technology has its side effects, but that doesn't stop the progress of technology. Neither can we stop using the technology. The only thing which we have to take care is how to use the technology for our benefit. So I think not using technology can be a foolishness. We have to use it in a proper way, and limit the screen time for only academical activities which are mixed with fun. So those academical activities have also they also have to be made in a funny and interactive way for the kids. So you can definitely limit the other screen time by enrolling them into some classes like cricket or skating, so physical activities. You can ask them to go and play with the kids instead of sitting before the television. So that we can ensure. So that is how I am striking a balance. So whenever there is some online classes, we are allowing them to do. Whenever they are listening to the educational videos, we are allowing them to do. And when it comes to entertainment, we are limiting the screen time and encouraging more of physical activities. So that is how we can strike a balance. Yeah.
That's a nice way of telling the things academically and non-academically, wherein parents can also strike a balance. Ma'am, so now since we are coming to end of our session, and I want all our viewers to first subscribe to this channel if you have not till yet, so that you can get the updates. And let us know in the comment how did you find the whole episode to be. If you have any question in your mind that you want Dr. Aparna to address it, please mention that in the comment section. And for you all, I'm going to cover up the whole session in some nutshell that there is no disability, it is learning difficulties. These children who have learning difficulties, their neurons are differently wired, And since they are differently wired, they process the things differently. So they require love and support of teachers, guides, and parents who can help them in understanding the things the way their mind process. In this, the visual aid is one of the best ways that we can help them with, with the help of technology, and definitely with the help of making the things visually appealing to them that goes in their mind. EdBlend is one of the apps that helps the children with learning difficulties to help them in the journey of understanding things. Apart from that, there are multiple different non-technological techniques also, wherein we can use mind maps. If we are supposed to learn the whole chapter, we can use mind maps. We can also use uh, chunking the big answers into point wise, where they have to recall everything. Even for spellings, we can write color where they're making mistakes. So there are lot many different techniques that we can do. Remediation is one of the ways that could help them to improvise their wiring. And the good time what ma'am told about is almost 1 year to 1 year to 18 months. That is एक साल से 1.5 साल का समय काफी अच्छा समय होता है to see the visible changes and the progress in the child. But what is more important and constant is to have patience, acceptance, love, and support that they truly require rather than comparing, labeling, and these two things will not help you nor your child. And if we continue comparing and labeling, the possibility that we see a lot is in the children that their self esteem is ruptured, they're emotionally damaged, and their self confidence goes for a toss. So in a nutshell, we have talked about this. If you want to know more about it, mention it in a comment. And Aparna ma'am, would you like to add if I forgot something?
I think you have wonderfully summed up the whole thing. The underlying thing is to have faith and trust the process. And I'm sure the dyslexic kids have all the strengths that are required for the 21st century. So I feel they would excel definitely much better than the normal kids. What I feel is because they are having all the strengths. Like if you take they are a mixture of paradoxes actually. So they may be having difficulty in reading and writing, but they are excellent communicators. What I have noticed, they are excellent communicators. They are having this beautiful quality of empathy and emotional intelligence. What I have noticed, they understand people so well, and they are so good with dealing with the people. So they can be excellent managers or entrepreneurs. What I feel, and there are so many other things, they are out of the box thinkers, problem solvers, and because of this problem with their difficulty, they develop a lot of resilience. So all these things are nothing but the most sorted out 21st century skills which the employers are looking for, and I think they're going to thrive in the world. On a positive note, thank you.
So parents, don't worry if your child cannot read or write or has some difficulty in reading and writing. It is just part of it. But the bigger picture is the child is creative, the child is problem solver, a child is resilient child, a child is with emotional intelligence, can can revolutionize this world, which is coming world, which is full of more challenges. So don't worry, feel lucky. Just enable your child with the current situation to progress. On this note, I, the Romal Surana, founder director Nanhaagyan Foundation, say you goodbye, but don't forget to subscribe to our channel and mention your questions in the comment section. Thank you and have a great day.
Thank you.